Are we live yet? All right, we are live. I gotta get the hang of that. Get the hang of that. What's going on, guys? This is Brian Martin with your daily Manchester United news show. So, want to get into it, go back live today, be with you guys, be with the people. I got my sweater on. It's getting a little chilly in the morning here, so I'm getting cozy, right? Getting cozy with my cup of coffee here. Manchester United mug that I've had for years. Obviously, you can't even really see the Manchester United on there anymore, but just like Manchester United through rough times, I'm still sticking with it. All right. So anyway, first off, right, people talking about Cindy Lemons and they're like, oh my gosh, he's not gonna be our number one. I'm like, I said this a week ago or a month ago, 4 weeks ago. So I'm gonna pat myself on the back on that one, right? And I think if you're watching this that earns a subscription, so here you go, road to 200, jump on that, subscribe, like, notifications, all that good stuff. So I was saying this about Cindy Lemons about a month ago, just before the deal was done, right? There was rumors of him not being signed as a number one, but being signed as a number two, right? And so when those rumors started, there were also the rumors of him looking at going to Turkey. Now, if I put two and two together, I'm thinking, right, if I'm going to Manchester United, big club, big legacy, to be number two, or I go to Turkey and I be number one, right? So you start thinking about it, you start thinking about your career, right? Maybe I go to Turkey first, be number one, then jump to United and be number one there. I don't know what he was thinking, but those rumors kind of came about at the same time, right? Sonny Lemons was going to be signed as number two, and then there was rumors of him going to Turkey and being a number one. So now everyone's kind of jumping on it, being like, what? We're looking at Mike Mannion and we're still looking at Emi Martinez. Like, yeah, that was always, I think, the plan, honestly. I think right now, maybe he's not training well. I don't know. We don't see that, or maybe Amram's trying to be fair to Bayendir, right? Maybe he feels like Bayendir has more of a relationship with the defenders, which I think, right, at this point, Cine Lammers is working on it. Um, but yeah, I it's not news to me if I'm going to say that, right? But it seems to be, sending shockwaves throughout the Manchester United world right now. But I don't know. We have to see how he does. We have to see how Cindy Lamens does. I think the Brentford game would be the perfect match for him to start and to see how he performs. Now, the thing is, again, if he's awful in training, then yeah, don't play the guy. Let him get better. Give him time. And then, also what he do with Bayendir. If Bayendir is training well, training better than Lemons, then I mean it's kind of unfair to Bayendir to actually drop him for Lemons, right? So I mean, what do you do there, right? Let me know. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think, because I mean, that's a tough call. It's a tough call. You want to be fair to the guy who's training well, who's doing better, but then you got your new shiny toy over here. It's like, what do you do? So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. Also, we are looking at, like I said, other keepers, right? So if Lammers is going to be number two, there's still the talk of Mike Mannion from AC Milan. There's still talk of Emi Martinez from Aston Villa. So just very quickly, quick high level profile of Emi Martinez and Mike Mannion. I got it from Transfer Market. So, take a look. Let me know what you think. Anyway, Mike Mannion, 30 years old, still prime for a keeper, right? So he could still, do the business for us for another probably 5 or 6 years, I'd say, right? He's 6'3", so he's got good height to him. Of his 316 professional appearances, he's conceded 314 goals, 125 clean sheets. I know that sounds like terrible stats, but it's actually not that bad for a goalkeeper. When you look at Emi Martinez, right, he is 33 years old, so he's starting to slightly age a little bit, right? You're getting a few fewer seasons out of him if he comes to United. But he's 6'5". I didn't know that. I didn't know he was that tall. Did you know that? I didn't know he was 6'5". Like I thought he was maybe like 6'2", 6'3", but the guy is 6'5". The guy is kind of a monster. So yeah, maybe that explains all the good saves. But yeah, 6'5", so he's got good height to him. He can come and claim crosses, as we've seen. We've seen him in the Premier League, so he's Premier League proven. That's what he has over Mannion. Um, but of his 291 professional appearances, he has conceded 356 goals and he has kept 91 clean sheets. So fewer clean sheets than Mannion, um, but and more goals conceded, but he's also Premier League proven. So, again, what do you go for there, right? I didn't look into the transfer market prices yet because, I mean, that always fluctuates, right? And once Manchester United starts knocking, the price goes up by like 220%. But one person I'll say that isn't coming to United is Dean Henderson. He told friends and family that he is never coming back, so we will never see him again in between the sticks for Manchester United. Um, so anyway, that's the thought on that. But I'll tell you this too. For Harry Maguire, right? There is talk of Harry Maguire getting a contract extension. Um, I think he deserves it, right? I think he really deserves it. I think he has been just, a clear professional for us, right? He's been reliable. Um, I mean, yes, he made that one mistake. I think it was against City, right? I think it was a bad pass or something there, but that doesn't define your whole career. Doesn't mean you're bad, right? We've seen Messi, we've seen Ronaldo, we've seen all the greats make mistakes, right? Um, so shouldn't define him in any kind of way. I think he deserves a contract extension. I think he's been a loyal servant. I think he's been, like I said, professional, especially when he took all that flack when he was captain. He kept his head down and kept working, and scored some big goals for us, right? And has really just done the job, played wherever he's been asked to play, whether it's been center back, striker, winger. I mean, so yeah, I think he deserves that. So yeah, I would like to see him stay. I think also again on his professionalism, the young guys coming through could learn from him. I wish Garnacho stayed and learned from Harry Maguire, learn how to keep your head down, keep your mouth shut, and just play. But hopefully the other guys coming through, I think JJ Gabriel is one, can look up to someone like Maguire and say, "Oh, that's how you be professional. That's how you weather the storm of criticism. And that's how you play." So yeah, I hope he gets it. I hope he gets it. I think he deserves it. Um, and it would be kind of the end of an era to see Harry Maguire go if you really think about it, right? I feel like he kind of ushered in a bit of a new era for United. Obviously, it hasn't been one riddled with success, but it'd be kind of like an end of an era if he leaves. But anyway, watch the space on that one. Speaking of other, transfer news, again, there's Adam Morton still hanging around, right? He's at Palace. He's 21. Last I heard, Newcastle, Liverpool, and Chelsea were in for him. There's Angelo Stiller, who's 24. Um, he's at Stuttgart, and Arsenal are looking at him. I think his release clause was like 30 million pounds last time I heard. Elliot Anderson at Nottingham, 22. Not sure about his release clause. And then Conor Gallagher, who I think Conor Gallagher is most likely. Conor Gallagher at Atletico, formerly at Chelsea, 25. Not sure his fee is either, but I think he is our most likely target in January, if I'm being honest. Like he just kind of fits the bill, right? Premier League proven, um, you know, good midfielder, trying to get into the England squad. Um, I think he just fits the profile for what we really need in the midfield. So I would like to see him come in. I think he's the most gettable, if I can make up a word there. So yeah, I think he comes in. But then Carlos Baleba, obviously the biggest name of the bunch, sitting out there. He's 21. He's at Brighton right now. As you know, he's had a poor start to the season. But I think that, again, that poor start has been because he had his head turned by Manchester United. I've been saying that since day one. I think I said it yesterday again in my new show because everyone was again jumping on it, right? But I mean, it was obvious, right? You've been in any kind of situation like that. You've had your head turned. You've, had that carrot put in front of you, and then suddenly it's snatched away. When you go back to focusing on your main thing, you're kind of like, you feel kind of down about it, right? You're less motivated. So, um, I think Baleba, I think he comes next summer. It would be amazing if we got both Gallagher and Baleba in January, but I think Gallagher in January, I think Baleba next summer, and I think that's our midfield sorted for at least the next 5 years. I think. I think. And maybe, we've got others that rotate in there, right? In center mid. I think maybe Toby Collier comes back and slots himself in there somewhere as like a super sub off the bench, rotates in, and maybe for the less challenging games he starts, things like that, right? Having a good rotation, a good core, a good group in the midfield. But other names too, Ruben Neves, he was talked about. He's 28. He's at Al Hilal, former Wolves player. So yeah, again, like I said, Premier League proven. Someone who can come and do the job for us as well. Although 28, he's in his prime now. So by the time we got him, he'd be like in the later half of his prime, if you will. And then again, because he's in the Saudi Pro League, I don't know how they do business in terms of selling players, right? Like we know they splash the cash when they want a player, but in terms of selling players, don't know how they do it. Not sure if they're going to try and be like really hard, shrewd businessmen and try to, milk us for every penny, or if because money doesn't seem to be as big of a issue for them, they just like, oh yeah, off you go, Ruben. So who knows on that one. Keeping it short here, trying to, keep these short for you guys because I know you got other things to do besides listen to me ramble. Looking ahead very quickly, we've got the Brentford game September 27th. They are currently 17th in the table. Again, I think that would be a good match for Lemons to start if he's been training well and has developed somewhat of a relationship with the back line. But again, if Bayender has been training well and, shining brighter than Lemons, then I think Bayender should start. But again, if that's not the case, I say give the gloves to Lemons, see what he's about, right? And then after that, we've got Sunderland on October 4th. They are currently 7th in the table, so that's an impressive start for Sunderland, for the recently promoted club. Yeah, 7th in the table, that's not bad at all. I'm curious to see how they do this season, if they drop momentum or if they just keep doing well. I mean, it would be insanely impressive for them to finish top 10, if you ask me. That would be a heck of a come up. So I'll be kind of watching them a little bit and see how they do. In terms of injuries, obviously Cunha and Mount are back. Lisandro Martinez should be back in the next probably 3 or 4 weeks. But Dallo, I'm not sure what's going on with Dallo. Like I tried to search for that and he kind of gone quiet on that one. So hoping that he, makes a recovery because he is competent cover, right, in the right wing back role. Obviously Casemiro with the suspension, so we probably won't see him before the international break unless there's some sort of, how they do sometimes. They go back and they rescind cards and they shorten suspensions. But I don't think we'll see him again until after another long, grueling international break. Can't roll my eyes hard enough about that. Very quickly on the women's front. So the women drew 0-0 with Arsenal at the weekend. Some dodgy refereeing, if you ask me. Their next match is against Liverpool on Sunday. They should stomp Liverpool, if I'm being honest, right? Like, the women have just been on fire this season. I mean, scoring goals for fun. So they should stomp Liverpool. I hope they stomp Liverpool because it's Liverpool, right? Like you always want to beat them. So that should be a comfortable win. I think that would put us back at the top of the Women's Super League. Let me actually look at that really quickly. Women's Super League. Where would that put us? Yeah. Yeah. If we win, against Liverpool, that should put us back top of the league, assuming that Arsenal don't win and assuming that, Chelsea stumble, right? So, a couple of dependents there. But again, like we're in and amongst it, right, on the women's side. So need the men to catch up. Anyway, a few quick reminders before we go. Match preview for Brentford. You won't want to miss that. It's going to be good. Again, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it now. I'm going to predict that Lemons starts, so you can scratch that one off your board of Brian's predictions. I think Lemons is going to start. And of course, I'll do a live halftime show. I'll do a post-match discussion as well. And of course, you always get your daily news. If you're into other football teams and other football-related stuff, check out my other channel. It is called Football with Brian Martin. That is also on YouTube. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter/X, whatever it's called nowadays. And just please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.